Okay, so name something you like to eat.
Zucchini.
Zucchini. So, instead of just saying, I ate, finish the sentence with your completer.
I ate zucchini.
I ate zucchini. That is correct. So, our completers help us determine the rest of the sentence. It gives us a little bit more variety than just saying, I ate, I drank, I slept, I drove. Those are kind of boring. So we add completers to add life to our sentence. And they're called completers because they complete the action of the verb. Well, today we're going to learn which completers go after an action verb. And we know what our action verbs are. They're verbs that show action. So our complements that go after an action verb have a certain type of name. But first, we're going to practice a little bit, so go ahead and take out your books. We're going to be practicing on how to recognize completers. So yeah, so you just take that out and turn to page. You don't have to turn to a page. Go ahead and open your books, and we will just begin. Look at my board up here. I have Michael and Jenna 8 blank. Correct? Right up here on my board. Michael and Jenna 8 blank. What would a good completer, a good complement be for this sentence? Tim?
Zucchini.
Zucchini. Michael and Jenna ate zucchini. Good job. So we're going to open our books and we're going to look at that first page. Read the box at the top. Go and read the instructions at the top of that box. Just the first little paragraph. Right at the top. The first paragraph up at the top. Yes, right there. So just go ahead and stand and read it to the class. No, stand.
You already know that every sentence has two basic parts. What are they? You will be interested to learn that some sentences have a third basic part. It is called a complement.
Yes. A complement is a sentence completer. It completes the meaning begun by the subject and verb. Some subjects and verbs are complete without another part. Tyrell and George studied. We could add more here, but even without anything else, the sentence is still a complete thought. Some subjects and verbs are incomplete by themselves. The student found. Well, something more is needed to make a complete thought. The student found his book. The noun book completes the meaning. It is the complement. To find the complement, say the verb and ask what or whom. The word is the verb that answers the question. The word in the predicate that answers the question is a complement. So, what two questions will we ask when we're looking for our complements? George?
What or whom?
What or whom. And we'll probably say in class, whom or what, after the verb. Instead of what or whom. It flows just a little bit better. Look at that look closely box and stand and read for us, Mary. And go ahead and read the first 2 bullet points.
Always look for a complement after the verb. Remember, not all verbs need complements.
Go ahead and read the other 3 for us too.
A complement can be a noun, pronoun, or adjective. A complement will never be a prepositional phrase.
Alright, stop and read that one more time.
Which one?
The one that you just read. This is the bullet point.
A complement will never be in a prepositional phrase.
Alright, class, this one is very important. Why do you think the complement wouldn't be in a prepositional phrase? We've learned about prepositional phrases, and a prepositional phrase is made up of a preposition and a what? An object of the preposition.
Direct object.
Nope, just an object of the preposition. So in a prepositional phrase, if you said in the car, in is the preposition, car is the object of the preposition. The is the adjective describing car, correct? So we would call car the object of the preposition. So in a prepositional phrase, that noun inside the prepositional phrase will never be a complement to the sentence because it already has a function as the object of the preposition. So you can't like say, oh, it's the complement, it already has a job. So that is why an object of the preposition will never be considered a complement. Remember that one because some of them get tricky, and if you're not paying attention, you end up circling the object of the preposition and realizing that it's not actually the complement you were looking for. The last bullet point says read, subject, verb, complement. If they do not all make sense, you have picked the wrong words. Try this in the sentences below. Read the instructions for that think.
Study the following sentences, which all contain complements. The last 5 are unmarked. Can you identify the complements?
Yeah, so we're going to try reading this with that subject, verb, complement order so that you can see what you should be looking for in a sentence. I'm going to do the first couple and show you what they mean. My name is Jared. My subject is name. My verb is. The complement is Jared. Saying my name is, we have to ask whom or what. Who or what is my name? Jared is my name. So in this sentence, my name is Jared. Name is the subject. Is the verb. Jared is the complement. So read subject, verb, complement. Does it make sense? Name is Jared. Yes, it makes sense. We're good to go. Number 2, I ate eggs for breakfast. They labeled this one as well. I is the subject. Ate is the verb. What did I eat for breakfast? You're going to ask what or you're going to ask whom or what. So, who did I eat for breakfast? Well, we didn't eat a who. I hope we didn't eat a who. What did I eat for breakfast? You ate eggs for breakfast. Now, breakfast is not what you ate. And it makes sense. In this sentence, I ate eggs. Subject, verb, complement, not I ate breakfast. But you could see how breakfast might be your complement. Why would breakfast not be your complement? Well, I want you to look. I ate eggs for breakfast. For is a what? Mary? Number 2.
A linking.
Not a linking verb. For is an object of the preposition. For is the preposition, and breakfast is the object to the preposition. So for breakfast is your prepositional phrase. I ate eggs would be your subject, verb, complement. Let's do another one. Samuel heard God's voice. Samuel is the subject, heard is the verb, and the complement here they've marked as voice. Samuel heard voice. Subject, verb, complement. Samuel heard voice. Samuel heard whom or what? Not complement. Voice. That makes sense. Number 4. The room grew quiet. Subject, verb, complement. Room grew. The room grew whom or what? It grew quiet. Room grew quiet. Quiet is a complement. Mom baked a pie for dinner. Your subject, verb, complement order would be what, Mary?
Mom baked pie.
Mom baked pie. Mom is your subject. Baked is your verb. Mom baked whom or what? Well, we know she didn't bake a whom. Mom baked pie for dinner. He heard a strange noise. Subject, verb, complement, order. Danielle.
He heard noise.
He heard noise. That is correct. So he is the subject, heard is the verb, noise is the complement. I love science and history. In this sentence, you can see that they marked both science and history. I is your subject, love is your verb. What are your complements? Dorothy?
Science and history.
Science and history. That sentence had 2 complements. Make sure that we look, because some sentences will have more than 1 complement. I love whom or what? I love science and history. Look at number 8. See if you can underline the subject once, the verb twice, and then write a C above your complement. Go ahead and share what you have with us on your paper, George. I see that you've been working hard.
Ryan can ride horse.
Ryan can ride horse. What is your subject?
Ryan
What is your verb?
can ride.
I love how you remembered both verbs. You may go get a jelly bean. We've been talking about complements, yet you still remembered your verb rules. Can ride is your verb. Can ride, ask your questions. What are your 2 questions? Robert can ride horse. But
whom or what?
whom or what? Robert can ride whom or what? Robert can ride Horse. That is correct. So when I say ask your questions, I want you to read it back to me saying, Robert can ride whom or what? Robert can ride horse. Go ahead and do 9 through 12 on your paper. I'll be walking around to see who's doing a good job, and I will be helping you on your paper, and then we'll share these as a class. All right, go for it and tell us what do you have for number 9.
Pastor Taylor preached a great sermon.
Mm-hmm.
You have what or whom.
Start with your subject. You can go in the direction of subject, verb, complement.
Pastor Taylor is the subject, preached is the verb, and sermon is the complement.
Yes. So, let me do this one for you. Pastor Taylor is the subject, preached is the verb. Pastor Taylor preached whom or what? Pastor Taylor preached sermon. That's how I want you to give it in the format of your answer so that I know that you're remembering to ask those questions and you're remembering to stay in that subject, verb, complement order, okay? So let's try number 10 together. Well, Marianne, go ahead and read it first.
Job is the subject, lost is the verb, and Job lost whom or what? Job lost wealth.
Yes, that is correct. God sent the rain to earth. God is the subject, sent is the verb. God sent whom or what? God sent rain. So rain is my complement. Dad says the blessing before we eat. Go ahead and read out what you have in the subject, verb, complement order. Carl.
Dad is the subject, says is the verb. Dad says whom or what? Dad says blessing.
Dad says blessing. That is correct. Go ahead and turn the page and look at right A. We're going to be learning about a special type of complement. Now, remember when I talked about how we get to that stop sign, which is our verb, and we have to stop, and we have to figure out what kind of verb it is? If it's a linking verb, we go one direction, and if it's a direct object verb, we go the other direction. Well, here we're going to start learning about specific type of complements, specific types of complements. The complements that we're going to learn about today are the type of complement that follows an action verb. So we will only have action verbs and complements that we have to learn. So, the kind of complement that follows an action verb is called a direct object. Now, it's the same thing we've been doing before. We're just looking specifically at action verbs. Linking verbs will have something different that follows them. It'll still be a complement, but it is called something different and it functions a little bit differently. So, Michael and Jenna ate. You can see on my board I have Michael and Jenna ate. Michael and Jenna ate whom or what?
Zucchini.
Zucchini. This is what Marianne showed us earlier. Michael and Jenna ate zucchini. Well, ate is an action verb. Zucchini is the direct object that follows it. We will still ask whom or what. Michael ate whom or what? Well, we know they didn't eat whom. Michael ate what? Zucchini. Michael and Jenna ate zucchini. The Boy Scouts helped the lady. Somebody tell me what is my complement in this sentence. George?
Lady?
Yes. How did you get that?
Because the Boy Scout is the subject, helped is the verb, and then who or what? Boy Scout helped lady.
Boy Scout helped lady. That is correct. Ostriches hide their heads in the sand. What is my verb in this sentence?
Hide.
Hide. And Susie, what is my subject?
Ostriches.
Ostriches. So my subject is ostriches. Hide is my verb. Is hide a linking verb or an action verb?
An action verb.
An action verb because it shows action. So ostriches hide whom or what?
Heads.
They hide heads. So heads would be called our direct object. It is our complement, but because it follows an action verb, it is our direct object. Just like the Boy Scout helped the lady Lady is our direct object. It is our complement, but it is our direct object because it follows an action verb. Go ahead, open your books. You're looking at that right A. I want you to read at the top of the page. Direct objects do what? Go ahead and begin reading right there.
Direct objects do what? A complement that follows an action verb is called an object.
Keep going.
A direct object is a noun or pronoun that follows an action verb and receives the action from that verb. It answers the questions what or whom.
Good job. So go ahead and read that first sentence for us.
Tyler found his dog.
The verb found shows action. It is followed by a direct. Is it followed by a direct object? Tyler found what? The answer is dog. Dog is the direct object of that sentence because found is an action verb. Look at the second one. The shortstop caught the ball. The verb caught shows action. Is it followed by a direct object? The shortstop called what? Caught what? The answer, man, this is tiny. The answer is ball. Ball is the direct object. You may look at the other sentence for reference as you begin on right A. I'm just going to go and call on individuals to answer and fill in the blank. Did you see what did you see, Marianne? Just pick anything.
Ball.
Did you see the ball? That is correct. Did you see it before it flew into the crowd? That would be a good sentence. Alexander Graham Bell invented the what?
Liberty Bell.
He did not invent the Liberty Bell. He actually invented the telephone. So telephone would be our direct object. Dad fed the what?
Chickens.
The chickens. That is correct. We ate blank for lunch. What did you eat for lunch?
Sandwiches.
Sandwiches. I was wondering if you were going to say zucchini. The bouquet had blank and blank in it. Both of these would be considered direct objects. Pick something. It had what and what in it?
Souffle and strawberries.
Say it again.
Souffle and strawberries.
The bouquet had souffle and strawberries. Well, I suppose you could have a bouquet that has souffle and strawberries. You got another one?
Strawberry leaves.
So what? Marianne, explain to the class, what is souffle?
A souffle is souffle is a dish, but
So the bouquet had...
I misunderstood the question.
I suppose a bouquet could have a very balanced plate of souffle or something. Do you have something else you'd like to put in your bouquet besides souffle and strawberry leaves? Strawberry leaves could be in a bouquet.
Daisies and daffodils.
Daisies and daffodils. The bouquet had what and what? Daisies and daffodils. That is an example of a direct object that is compound because there is more than one. Look at think B. I'll let you guys finish writing in the ones to number 5 real quick. Look at think B. Read the instructions to think B, Carl.
Underline the group of words in the parentheses that will give the sentence a direct object. Be ready to explain your answers.
All right, so looking at number 1, we read a book late last night. So what they did is they put, hang on, that's not number 1. Look at the example. Mother walked up the street, the dog around the block. So they've given you choices, and you have to pick the one that is the complement. So mother walked whom or what? Did she walk up the street? Maybe. But what they showed us is that that is actually a prepositional phrase. Because up is a preposition, and street is the object to the preposition. So there is no direct object in that prepositional phrase because it's not a complement. Mother walked the dog around the block. Does that have a complement in it? Nod your heads if you think it has a complement. it does have a complement because dog is what she walked. Mother walked whom or what. We can still follow that subject verb complement phrase when we check in our head. Mother walked whom or what. Mother walked dog. And around the block is another prepositional phrase. So you have to pick the group of words that's going to give you a complement in it. Specifically, what we're looking for is a direct object because it's going to follow an action verb. So go ahead and start working on those, and I will come around and look at your papers. Make sure you underline your subjects once and your verbs twice. I know the instructions did not specifically say to do that. However, it will always help us to know what our subject and our verb is. It's good practice for when we start having to mark everything that's in a sentence. Just keep working. Alright, looking at number 1, it says, we need what? A book late, we read, I'm so sorry, this is kind of small. We read a book late last night. Which of those sets of words, or word, would be the complement? What is your subject and verb? Then I want you to tell me whom or what, and then read it with your complement so that we know that you picked the complement. So go ahead and read the first one for us, Susie.
We read a book late last night. We is the subject, read is the verb, and book is the complement.
Yes, a book is the complement. We read whom or what? We read a book. Carlos quickly wrote in his notebook a letter to Grandma. Carl, read the sentence with your subject and verb in the subject-verb complement order. Answer whom or what, ask whom or what, and then read it all together. Go ahead.
Carlos is the subject, wrote is the verb. Carlos wrote whom or what. Carlos wrote letter.
Good job. So you would underline a letter to Grandma, the whole thing. But remember, letter is your complement, and specifically, it would be your what?
Direct object.
Your direct object. We sang whom or what? We sang many hymns. Hymns is going to be your direct object. Do number 4 for us.
Sydney is the subject, jumps is the verb. Sydney jumps who or what? Sydney jumps rope.
That is correct. Uncle Charlie trimmed around the edges. Oh, I'm so sorry. Uncle Charlie trimmed around the hedge the trees for Mother. Which of those two phrases would be your complement, namely your direct object? Go ahead and answer it in the form that you've been answering all the other questions. Go ahead and read it for us, Susie.
Uncle Charlie is the subject, trimmed is the verb. Uncle Charlie trimmed whom or what? Uncle Charlie trimmed trees.
Good job. So you would underline the trees, and that would be your complement, namely your direct object that follows an action verb. We are out of time for language for today, so go ahead and close your books, put them under your desk, and we will continue working with complements, specifically direct objects, tomorrow.